Have you ever wondered why certain stories seem to follow us everywhere? Why the lonely hero, the mysterious sage, the misunderstood rebel, or the charismatic villain keep appearing in movies, TV shows, video games, and even on social media? What if I told you these figures were not created by Hollywood, but have lived inside the human mind for thousands of years? Carl Jung believed that invisible forces shape our behaviors, desires, and choices. He called them archetypes. And perhaps the most surprising thing is that they did not disappear with modernity. If anything, they are more alive today than ever before. When Jung developed his theory of the collective unconscious, he introduced a revolutionary idea. All human beings share universal psychological patterns. These patterns appear in dreams, myths, religions, and stories across every culture. But today we are no longer surrounded by ancient myths. We are surrounded by screens, algorithms, and influencers. So an intriguing question emerges. Do archetypes still exist in the modern world? The answer is yes. They have simply changed their clothes. In this video, you will discover how Jung's archetypes continue to operate beneath the surface of modern society, shaping trends, digital identities, and even the way we see ourselves. Imagine opening a social media app. Within minutes, you encounter the hero, the person who overcomes obstacles and inspires millions with a story of success. You find the sage, sharing knowledge and appearing to have answers for everything. And there is the rebel, challenging conventions and attracting followers precisely because they refuse to fit in. Jung would argue that we do not connect only with these individuals. We connect with what they represent within ourselves. Archetypes function as the universal language of the psyche. They awaken deep emotions because they reflect aspects of the human experience that we all share. The problem is that in the digital age, these symbols have been amplified on an unprecedented scale. Never before has it been so easy to build an identity around a single archetype. Influencers carefully craft personas aligned with specific images. Companies transform brands into heroes. Celebrities become living symbols of power, beauty, wisdom, or rebellion. But there is a deeper side to this story. Jung believed that every archetype carries a shadow. The hero can become arrogant. The sage can become detached. The rebel can become destructive. When we identify too strongly with a single image, we begin to lose touch with the complexity of who we truly are. Perhaps this is why so many people experience a strange sense of emptiness, despite living in an age of endless possibilities. They are not living their own story. They are trying to perform a character. Algorithms reinforce this phenomenon. They reward simplified versions of personality. The more predictable you become, the easier you are to categorize. And the easier you are to categorize, the easier you are to consume. But the human psyche was never meant to fit neatly into labels. For Jung, true growth happens when we acknowledge all parts of ourselves: light and shadow, strength and vulnerability, courage and fear. Archetypes are not prisons. They are maps. They help us understand why we admire certain people, why we repeat specific patterns, and why some stories move us so deeply. Perhaps the goal is not to eliminate archetypes from our lives. Perhaps the goal is to become conscious of them, because the moment you realize you are following an invisible script, something powerful happens. You gain the ability to write a new version of your own story. Jung believed that the greatest human adventure was not conquering the external world, but exploring the inner one. And archetypes are clues scattered along that journey. The question is not whether they influence your life. The question is, which archetypes are guiding your choices right now? And more importantly, are you living as your authentic self, or are you simply playing a role that the world expects you to perform?